Hey, what's going on guys? JS Cards here coming at you with a Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck profile, and today we're going to be going over my updated Salamangreat list. This deck's changed a little bit since I've last been profiling it, and I've been playing this deck a lot lately. I think it's just really fun. It's one of those decks that never seems to go away, and it's always adapting to the meta. On top of that, we got some rarity upgrades for this deck thanks to Ghosts from the Past. We got some ultra rare rarity bumps instead of commons or supers and stuff like that. So I thought I'd redo a deck profile, and hopefully this updated build can, help you guys out or kind of give you an idea of where to go from there. All right, so I think everything's pretty standard with this monster lineup, but I played 2 copies of Salamangreat Foxy, along with 2 copies of Spinny, 2 copies of Jack Jaguar, and then for our one-ofs, I have Gazelle and Falco. This is kind of the same lineup that I've had for a while now. The only difference is I did cut the foul for another copy of Will. For the longest time I was only playing 1 Will, but I decided to test out 2, and I think that's probably the way to go. But yeah, you guys can determine for yourself the number of copies and stuff and the ratios of the Salamangreat monsters that you'd like to play, but I think this has been working out just great. And then the other big change is I'm now playing 3 copies of Buffalo instead of Lady Debug. The draw 2 effect on this is just too good, and it's okay if you discard one of your Salamangreats to the grave because there's ways to get them back. Maybe depending on the format or how people are playing Salad, maybe Debug will become a better choice in the future. I think it kind of depends. I know some people play both, some people play one or the other. Just for space and things like that, I just decided to cut the debugs altogether and just go for 3 Buffalo, and that's it. And it's been working out really well so far. Another great Cyberse related card is Parallel Exceed. This is just a great way to get into our rank 4s. And then for the hand traps, I play 3 copies of Ash Blossom, just great to be able to stop a lot of different things, and 3 copies of Ghost Bell. And that is it for the monsters. Of course, you can adjust things accordingly. You can adjust the hand traps to what you play against the most, things like that. But overall, I think it's pretty standard. You guys will see success if you play something like this. So let's move on to the spells. For the spell cards, of course, you're playing 3 copies of Signet Mining, the searcher for the deck. Great for any Cyberse related deck. We're going to be seeing new Code Talker support in the future and Adagnister support too. So yeah, definitely get your copies of Signet Mining if you haven't yet. They're gonna be seen a lot in the future. And then I play 3 copies of Pot of Desires. So yeah, also another reason why I kind of decided to go with 2 copies of Will, because it does suck if that gets banished. Will's just a really great card. But more draw power for the deck. You do play multiples of a lot of your important cards. So yeah, Pot of Desires is definitely worth it. For the other Salamangreat cards, like I said, 2 copies of Will, and then we still have the 1 Sanctuary and the 1 Circle. And then just 2 staple spells. I play the 1 Monster Reborn and the 1 Call by the Grave, just so we can stop an Ash or something. Moving on to the trap cards, I do play the 1 Gravedigger's Trap Hole. I think this card's just really good, and not only that, but we do play Rafflesia in the deck, and she can help us be protected by Nibiru, which is just really strong in my opinion. And for a while I tested it, and then I took out the Trap Tricks, Rafflesia, and the Gravediggers, but I went back to it. I just like it. I like having that extra defense, that extra protection against Nibiru, and this is a really good trap card on top of that. So we're going to stick with that for now. But then I played 2 copies of Rage, 2 copies of Roar, pretty standard. You could play maybe 3 copies of each, or 3 of one and 2 of the other. I've seen some builds that like to max out on those and go for a really trap heavy version, and that's totally up to you. I don't think that's bad. And then 3 copies of Solemn Strike. If you have imperms, feel free to play those if you want in the main, or side them, or at least side the strikes. But yeah, I've been playing strike in a lot of different decks. Imperm definitely has its time and place, but I think Solemn Strike right now, it just can stop so many different things. And, 1,500 life points is not much, so I think it's worth playing. All right, now moving on to the extra deck. This hasn't really changed at all, but we have our 3 copies of Baylynx, and then triple copies of Sunlight Wolf, double Heatleo. I still think this is correct. It might change once that new rank 4 for Salamangreat comes out. I can't think of its name right now. But yeah, right now 2 Heatleo is definitely the correct number. And then thanks to Ghost from the Past, we got our Ultra Splash Mage and Ultra Update Jammer. I think these look great. I'm really glad they did that. I mean, these decks, again, they see a lot of different play in different Cyber decks, and I think this is well deserved, especially because Splash Mage was a common, and I think Update Jammer got a super printing if I'm not mistaken, but Ultra is even better. And of course, because we're playing those, we have the 1 Transcode Talker. The last link, which is also like our link for Boss Monster, is Borolo Dragon. I still love this card. I suppose you could play Access Code. If I had one, I'd honestly probably play it instead of this, but I actually like Borolo Dragon. Sometimes your opponents really don't expect you to be playing it because, they probably assume you're going to be playing an Access Code or even a Boral Sword, but Borolo is still really powerful. I really like it. And then for our rank 4s, we have the 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 number 41, and we have our Rafflesia. So there you guys have it. That is my updated Salamangreat deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this video, hit that like button and subscribe for more. That really helps me out. Also, I thought I'd let you guys know that I'm streaming on YouTube now. For a while, I was over on Twitch, but I decided to transition over to YouTube. It's a great way for me to be able to talk to you guys and just hang out on a more personal level and play some games, Yu-Gi-Oh! Among other video games, and just kind of hang out for a little bit. So I don't really have a set YouTube schedule, but if you guys are ever around, or if you follow me on Twitter, I'll announce that I'm streaming. Or if you guys just happen to see the notification that I'm streaming, come by and say hi, and we can talk about Yu-Gi-Oh!, talk about other video games or things going on, and just kind of hang out. It's an awesome community, and I'm really glad that we've been able to build this up over time, and I just hope it keeps on growing. So anyways, thanks so much for watching this video. Hit that like button and subscribe for more. Let me know what types of videos you'd like to see in the future, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out and have a good one.